Hello guys, now welcome back again to Bod TV Bod. Straight away we get today, not past say Tinubu go visit Babangida for me now. Then we get fast video, we get very important message, we fast talk. We get Swagger Mama give INEC one correct message and very interesting. I want make una watch. I'm not miss am. Then Ikorodu men match come and say make APC can't give them money. APC promise them say they vote for them, they go give them money. So they come and say they wait for their money, they don't get a lot. So I will show you that video, very interesting. Then Peter Obi visit Edo State and come see us guys push share till they use until they clean Peter Obi car, man. You don't need to miss that video. They will get prophecy about the tribunal. Wait till the outcome go be. Wanna not see miss that one, no. Then we get to other videos where it talks say why Peter Obi need to be president, or rather say why they need to give the power to the rightful person, and there's no other person that will vote for now either than the obedience. So my people, wanna sit back, wanna watch all this video. Not be no now watch them. I did here. I watch them. I was on Bod TV. I don't tire.
First, youth pull all their clothes as they see Peter Obi. They use it till they clean a motor. They clean it. Secondly, Peter Obi they pass through New Benin market. Market close. Even people where they elect and they win president and who give a president, they don't shame. Oh, boy, leke. Osimi leke buke. INEC shema. Ooh, you know the shame, Agbaya. I can't see the people's president. You cannot cut the joy of the people. Can't see the people's president. Ole, ole, ole.
This is the Labour Party. This is the Labour Party government committee.
The Electoral Act, as amended just last year, states in section 60, by the way, that transmission of election results shall be done in a manner as determined only by the chairman of INEC. The chairman of INEC then by himself released the guidelines and regulations for the 2023 elections, in which he stated that transmission of results from the polling units shall be done via the BVAS system. Okay, that's the portal, the website, everything that he put there. Election happened. The chairman of INEC now came later, after election that have already happened, and say, sorry, I know I said that this is the way that we do it, but what happened is that our system was hacked, and as a result, we can't do it like this. Okay, no, that's okay, no problem. Let's even assume your system is actually hacked. The normal thing to do in a circumstance, or let me say the fair thing to do in any circumstances, okay, I said we'll do it this way, but my system have been hacked. So how about we do it again? The chairman of INEC say, no, don't worry, let's just carry on like that. I have the result. You have the result from where?
So don't worry. We want to fix Africa. We want to fix Africa. I promise you, we will do that. As long as we get it right in Nigeria, we will get it right in Africa.
Obi, the name is Peter. What God wants to do in Nigeria is that the Lord wants to end a certain generation and start a new building. So he brought this man as the rock where he will stand on him to rebuild. So his name, everything is not a fluke. It is a prophet. So that man is backed by God. I speak as a prophet. I won't lie on this altar. He is backed by God. The spirit from heaven backing him is too much. That man is like an oracle. I'm telling you, he himself doesn't know. Like Nehemiah, right? That rebuilt the what? The temple of Jerusalem. And Sanballat and what? Tobiah, they stood against it. And God had his way. So Nigerians, we love you. We are praying for you. I spoke in key. You didn't get my words well. But the thing is that God has told me some years ago with all humility. And I'm telling you that this man is backed by God to bring a rebuilding, because I saw Nigeria becoming like Dubai. Write this thing down. If Christ does not come, I saw Nigeria become like Dubai. It will go back to those days. Okay, those days Ghanaians were going to Nigeria, Agege, and they were going to work and get money like Abrochwe. That thing is coming back again like 3 times. All these things I'm saying because of a bit misconception. I am praying for the man because God told me. I told you, me, I vote based on what God tells me, not what a party tells me. From Nkanu in Ghana, I voted for MPP before. Kufuor time, I voted for him. NDC, I voted because I vote based on what I hear as a prophet. I don't vote based on your parties, because nations are built by God. And I said they will go to court. And it is happening. They are going to court here and there. And the outcome is that Peter Obi will become the president of Nigeria to start the rebuilding exercise for Nigeria. I'm telling you, the betterment is what we are all seeking for. So the old generation, God wants to end it and start a new generation. Last 2 years, God told me that youth will take over the nation Nigeria. So when this man comes, you will see 30 years old as ministers. You will see say youth taking leadership roles. And they will think about their friends. They will bring more vibrancy. They will pass laws that will favor them and their other things. No, this is what the Lord told me. No one can change it. Listen, no one can change it. So Nigeria, we love you. This court case, that man that was declared is not the one that you voted for. I end by saying 3 nations that God is going to use to change Africa. Number 1, Nigeria. Number 2, Kenya. The final one is Ghana.
Now, the president, the chairman of the INEC came up and said there was an hitch, some hitch, that disrupted the electronic transfer of results. An hitch in a digital system? Absolutely shambolic and laughable. I thought, if I was not an engineer, I probably would buy into it. And I said to myself, I want to forgive him because Prof is an expert in history. And he went to the best schools in this country. University of Ahmadu Bello, and then went to Oxford and Cambridge. What else would you want? If he was working for a private company with on the D-Day and the H-hour, the system you are presenting to the stakeholders and the shareholders, he would have been fired. The worst part of it, because I've asked this question before, who is the man in charge of the IT? We have now discovered that he was, first of all, a commissioner in Lagos State, commissioner of science and technology. His name is Femi Odubi. He is the man in charge of the IT of INEC. How did he become commissioner in Lagos? Who put him there? And then who put him in the INEC? Now, if Prof. Yakubu had concluded that there was some hitch, why is that man still there? Look, we are toying with the future of this country. We are toying with the future of our own children. Somebody was there on the D-Day and the H-hour. In the military, he would have been executed for such misbehavior. And now, you want to re-inspect the divas. The same man. You haven't told us what were these hitches, what created them, what caused them, and he's still sitting down there. If Bola Tinubu wins this election through, in fact, you are just still saying it. We are doubting now with all the figures and the ups and downs that are going on. Is it defined? We told you that the man who is in charge of the IT was the fellow who worked under his government in Lagos. And that's the man who has pronounced that there was an itch, some ditch in the computer.
Right.
The man is still sitting down there. Let's wake up in this country, for God's sake.
Kabegi nashe nina gigiriogwa igijogwa kwabegi nashe nina iato take bofia jime megijogwa kwabegi kine nekido eneki ibabio me basona ke ozenu dona neki olage neki wagi yege eveni viagbo kiata wa yari obojiba he uwe na igwe na emo ya vote ni ayari obojoto jomani ya gwalo ovive nya ojo omi kwangbe wokodode otene doga nowa o idiani jesige oga nowa ideno poko oga nowa emotono kawoba oga nowa aori gbano weneki na we ole enubu wagi agbewo na daji wagi everio wagi dedeji mozozo waga wewe no juwa burio age me no wa emila de boruru o salobo wikiane asa yak magbedo leru nuwa gubeta mu wa ai magbonario wa ai weferio wa edaraga wu efe domaji o salobo ga no wa onari mbabe yan we azeboso iye netirokpa o sa o ebo wagi je adegeti gugwa onarie mamenya well o salobakpa ori biefa noma obana gbebeti ni biefa noma agbona eswolo erun magegana nari orbo sarere no do so fureje na jena no gi wa davese alagbodebe rogwa omi kwagbe owo ebolo odebegbe o ewe boni jena ewi potoki mabe bofie jiwo gwa rogwa uki awagba ariobe wari go jowaza evi kevi no dove worio ye asigo gwa me yake ya uwo kwa adegete na gbogi kulo sejivie Nigeria bo azegi duoginya osogi duoginya oji arioba owisibegbe wa mabo ukponya ero uwagi mwene na ferie na ge enubunya ole Morocco ge abie bubu no egbe babe okwa egbe babe okwa osaga no wa idi ani jesi ge ga no wa o ide no poko ga no wa o otene do ga no wa o wa mwe mani ma ana mienya ben magi yari e wipoto kinya igba ma ya fefe no giro wa giro e yare we bo ya magi jogwa igba ma magi jogwa ibiore ya fefe kwe we bo no gulo ya gbe libia gujo ni legbe libia ya lezerie amagi memo o balero mogi jebo gwa mene dedenya menya jogwa bagagi kene na mabege go samaganyi nya no do sofurejo na riobosa no rere bure o ni magari ogwa no do sofureje ni majena emo ya wulo o managbo gije na gatita atita maso managbo ebo ne milana maso managbo ebo nikia ge potekina ni mejena ya waso warioba ihe kwa maga me ya tota ihe esa meme nwo ihe ga teme mom.
For the benefit of those that do not understand Edo language, Benin. So this woman come out, this elderly woman, another not really elderly woman, because not the way we say technology they do these days, I can actually change the face. So she come out, they cry, say she did abroad, and then she did with her boyfriend, and she know they go back to Nigeria again, say because she did okay living with her boyfriend, that the government is paying her, she's not doing anything, she's just at home, and they pay her money, and she know they suffer. But wait till come pay her pass, maybe say during the election, a child for Nigeria injured because of the election when she go vote. He says since they don't say they don't already get candidates, so we say they want give the vote the presidency to why they can't call people out, make they come vote. So she was saying that now she understands, say juju not get power, and some pastors where they claim say they get power, they not get power, that all power belongs to God, that there is nowhere we are taking all this money, all this cattle, because everything will end in grave. They will end, with not the way you expect it. You are not taking all these things to anywhere. Say the thing for this life is to be good to people and to others, not all about you acquiring wealth. So she can't talk, say, see person where they bring comments. The president where they will bring comments, and the presidency, yeah. Now Morocco means that someone that smokes Morocco, that smokes weed. So now she come they talk, say for them to bring better person come and say they not fit bring better person come on, because this life people not like good thing naturally, so they not fit bring the right person come out. Then she come for that talk, say out of say our country not good, now people don't pass through sea go abroad, and a lot of people they die through this process, that people die a lot all because our country not good. You see all this one they break her heart to see people for sea, they cross sea, from Libya to Italy. So and she come to see talk, say if she come abroad as she dey abroad, everybody they respect her, they'll give her a chair, sit down, they call her mom. Wetin be say naturally she no fit get for her country. Now all this one then she can't talk. All right, now so now do it.
Do you want me to be honest or just speak, political correctness here? But I choose to be honest with you. I choose to be honest with you. And for me to be honest with you, I have to go back a little bit. But let me start with the situation that we're facing in this country today. If you believe that those that are in power in Nigeria today would ever contemplate the possibility of giving power to an Igbo man in 2023 or thereafter, then you still haven't fully understood the challenge and the problem that we have in this country today. You need to understand that the mindset of some of these people, not all, some, but those that Buhari represents, that is his own clique within the Fulani ruling class, not all Fulanis, but his own clique, who are in power today. Their mindset is that the most dangerous people in this country and the people that they must suppress more than any other are the people of the Southeast. And you need to understand that before the Civil War, and I need to go back in history because that's a damn good question and it deserves a clear answer, a thorough answer. Let's go back a little bit. Before the Civil War, these same people, he, for example, was active then. And you need to remember the role that they played on the night of July 29th, 1966, when the Northern Officers counter coup took place. And 300 Igbo officers were killed in one night, including an Igbo head of state. He was involved. And many of them that are running this country in that cabal today were involved or supported it. They said it was to pay back for what had happened in January 15th, 1966. Now, after that, what happened? The same people unleashed their people on Igbo civilians in the northern part of this country, and the figure that is often cited is 30,000 were killed. It's not true. Closer to 100,000. Not only were they killed, people, women had their stomachs cut open, and little babies were pulled out and their heads were dashed against the wall. That is what they did then in 1966, before the Civil War. And the Igbos were slaughtered like flies all over the north by these same people. They went rushing back to the east, where they believed they were safe. And the position was this. The leader of the core northern Muslims within the army, Murtala Muhammad, urged Gawan, who was head of state, to march on the east immediately and wipe out the Igbos. Gawan, to his credit, refused to do that and said, no, let's negotiate. And the negotiations started. They broke down, then there was a civil war. In that civil war, 3 million Igbos were killed by federal forces. They were killed by all of us. I'm from the Southwest. I take responsibility for that, as every other Nigerian ought to. Civilians, not soldiers, 3 million, including 1 million children, subjected to genocide, subjected to mass murder, subjected to ethnic cleansing by us. The war ended. We did not apologize. Instead, what did we do? What did we do? We took all their property in the name of abandoned property. We gave them £20, even if they had $1 million in the bank. And we said, come back, no victor, no vanquished. Biggest lie from the pit of hell. There was a victor and there was a vanquished. And we all know who was who. They came back into Nigeria and we reintegrated them. But even with all the reintegration, no Igbo man could be trusted to be General Officer Commanding GOC until Obasanjo came to power in 1999. Igbos were not allowed to rise up within the military or in any power configuration in the country. It was something that was understood, that you never put an Igbo man in a position of real power. You can give him appointments, but you don't put him in a position of real power. Okay. Obasanjo came, made General Obiaku, I think his name was, GOC. And then from there, Jonathan came, he appointed an Igbo chief of army staff. Okay. Yes. My wife is reminding me of the name Ehejireka. You know, he appointed an Igbo chief of army staff. Okay, and we thought things would go on that way. There would be a reintegration of the Igbos. And Obasanjo integrated many Igbos. People like Obi Ezekwesili, Andy Uba, so many came in and playing key roles, key positions. We thought things would get better. And unfortunately for us, though, in 2015, everything changed because Nigerians elected, in quotation marks, a man that had, again, I say it again, a different worldview and went back to the pre-1966 disposition and mentality of things. And that position was that Igbos cannot be trusted. Igbos have no rights. Igbos are members of the, he called them 5%, I believe, that didn't vote for him. And his mindset was he will teach Igbos the lesson of their lives. And he has done precisely that. If the killings had stopped then, I would have said, okay, fine. Everything we said is history. But sadly, it didn't stop. Igbo youths, IPOB youths, Igbo nationalists have been killed under this government. More have been killed than at any other time during this, apart from during the Civil War, under this government. Igbos have been hopelessly marginalized by the government. Igbos have been treated with contempt by this government. Not just Igbos, Southerners, Christians, and Middle Belters. They've added that one as well. And that's what's going on. And what the Igbos was subjected to by all of us in 1966 is what we are all being subjected to now by those that are around Buhari. Now, going to your question, given all that, before I come to that, let me just add this. IPOB says they want to have a referendum. They want the right to self-determine. And you label them as terrorists when none of them has ever carried a gun, as far as I'm aware. I was in prison with Nnamdi Kanu. I had extensive discussions with him. I got to know him. I understood his mindset, and I could feel his pain for his people. Yet they say they want to have a referendum. You say they're terrorists. Meanwhile, those that are butchering our people every day in the name of ethnic domination and hegemony, in the name of furthering the ambitions and the aspirations of Usman Dan Fodio and Ahmadu Bello and Buhari himself, the three Mahdis, you don't call them terrorists. You pat them on the back, you refuse to arrest any of them. And you say what they're doing is okay. You encourage them. Okay? And the same you, free Boko Haram terrorists, the same you once said that you want to apply Sharia all over the country. The same you said Muslims should only vote for Muslims. The same you says an attack on Boko Haram is an attack on the North. The same you has said so many things which implicitly are on line and on all fours with the Boko Haram philosophy. These are the people that have been ruling us for 5 years. And the same you has empowered the Fulani to a point that they have everything now. And you really believe that those people in 2023 will sit down and say that they will allow a situation to arise whereby the one they hate the most can possibly take power in this country? They will not allow that to happen. Now, if you ask me what I think that would be the way forward as an individual. That if you really want to appease the Southeast, indeed the people of the South, why on earth not? Why shouldn't we have that? But the reality is that those that control the levers of power are diametrically opposed to that philosophy. They don't pretend not to be. They will never deny it. And they're not even hiding it. So they won't allow that to happen. What they will tell you at the very best is possibly we'll give vice presidency to the Southeast. And in a situation like that, if they did that, and the northern president came to power, and something happened to him, I assure you they will never let an Igbo man take power. It's their mindset. Even the one that's there now, the Yoruba man that's there as VP. If anything happens to Buhari, I doubt very much they will let him take power. The position that they have adopted is that power must remain in the north, in perpetuity for as long as possible. And they have rationalized it over and over again. So that's the situation that we're in. But left to me, two things. The first thing is this: that would go a long way to heal the wounds of the past. An apology for what we did to the Southeasterners and to the Igbos during the Civil War. Secondly, proper compensation and reparations for what we did to them. Thirdly, to now openly come forward and say, let an Igbo man be president of Nigeria, because they've never had an elected Igbo, we've never had an Igbo man leading us with power. Let it happen. That is what I would suggest. That's the first one. The other one is this: if it is, you know, you can't do that. And if it is that the time for that has passed, because many Igbos will tell you, particularly those that share the philosophy of people like Nnamdi Kanu and even Masob philosophy, they will tell you they're not interested in that anymore. Then the other thing you can do is say, allow them to determine their own future, just as the people of Scotland were allowed to determine theirs, just as Britain, the United Kingdom, was allowed to determine hers when it came to Brexit, just as so many other countries in the world, through a referendum and exercising the right of self-determination. And I think that would make far more sense than to say just give them an Igbo presidency, which you and I know is not likely to happen. Let me end with this, okay? We are approaching 2023. Some in the Southwest, specifically Bola Tinubu, believes that his party will field him. I will tell you this today: he has made the biggest mistake of his life. They will not support him. Their position is to keep the presidency in the North. And even if he manages to clinch the nomination for the APC, they will now shift their support to another party that will field a Northern candidate. Mark what I'm telling you today, because I've been right 9 times out of 10 when it comes to these predictions. I've been right. And I'm telling you, I'll be proved right again. That is the mess that we're in this country. So your aspirations are legitimate. You have every right to have an Igbo president. It will be a good thing for this country, for the people of the East, and indeed for the people of Africa. But those that believe they own Nigeria will not allow it, they will not accept it, and they will not create a level playing field for it. And that's the reality.